Welcome back to the Paytm Developer Series. So far, we've covered some very exciting products from the Paytm stable: Paytm Payouts, Paytm Mini Apps, and Paytm Payment Gateway. Today, we're going to focus on D2C brands. Direct to consumer brands, as we know, have seen an exponential rise over the last year. And today, we're going to talk about how these D2C brands can leverage the Paytm traffic on the consumer app to start selling their products. D2C brands can also use the Paytm Payment Gateway on their own websites as a payment instrument. However, we have a very exciting proposition where D2C brands can create a small mini app store which can take traffic directly to their store from the Paytm app. I have a very exciting guest with me today, Kani, who is the founder and CEO of AppBoxo, a partner of Paytm that helps onboard any store from Shopify, Magento, or WooCommerce onto the Paytm mini apps. Kani, would you like to introduce yourself and your product?
Hi, Saloni, and thanks so much for having me here. So as you mentioned, ShopBoxo is a platform that helps any Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce brand that uses one of those e-commerce platforms to easily convert their store into a mini app and deploy it inside of Paytm mini apps. We've been working with Paytm for the past 3 months, launching multiple mini apps for different direct-to-consumer brands and having a really good traction so far.
Thank you. That sounds exciting. So, Kani, what I often hear from merchants who run, direct-to-consumer companies is that they've often used very standard platforms on the internet to build their stores and to run their businesses. And they don't want to get into detailed integration sometimes. So I hear that your product is a plugin that can be used very easily with the existing stores, and the catalogs remain the same. Is that true?
So the problem that we've discovered is that a lot of direct-to-consumer brands in India, they don't have the in-house technical team, right? That's the reason they are using these DIY e-commerce platforms such as Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. So what we do is we made a very easy to use platform that can connect the existing Shopify store, Magento, and WooCommerce store to these mini apps. So the way it works is quite simple. So there is one-click integration. So we've created different plugins for Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. With one click, merchants can connect their existing store to our platform. So all the products that are already inside of their store, their inventory information will be automatically added to the mini app. In that case, from operations point of view, whatever is inside of your existing store is going to be automatically visible inside of the mini app. And moreover, the best part about it is also when the mini app is launched inside of Paytm and the orders start to come in, all the orders are going to be automatically created inside of these e-commerce platforms of the brand's choice. And from operations point of view, again, merchants don't need to change anything. They just receive the orders and they do the fulfillment the way they did before. So it's very seamless. And for merchants, it's very easy to just continue running their store on top of the Paytm mini app and then start to get this additional traffic from Paytm.
Wow. So which means that I don't have to reconcile a separate catalog or a separate set of accounts once I enable the ShopBoxo Paytm connect.
That's correct. So everything is synced. So there is no need to maintain two different databases of inventory and products. You just continue running your Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce store the way you did before, and start getting more revenue.
How do I integrate as a merchant? How do I go about onboarding, and how do I start this process?
Yep. So it's very easy to set up process. So there are 3 steps. So the first one is obviously create an account inside the ShopBoxo platform. So our website is www.shopboxo.co, so CO. So you can create an account in there, completely free, and you can start building your mini app. So first step is you design the mini app. You can choose the components that you want to use, such as banners, banner sliders, collection sliders, featured collections. You can change the design of these components inside of our platform. You can upload different pictures that you want, and pretty much in like half an hour, you can design the whole mini app. Now, the second step is connect your existing e-commerce platform, such as Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. So what we did, we've created one-click integration plugins for each of these platforms. So in Shopify, it's called Private App. In Magento and WooCommerce, it's called plugins, which we, on our side, we have the instructions to do. So it's a very simple, less than a minute process where you just need to do a couple of clicks and the integration is established between Shopboxo and the existing e-commerce platform. And as soon as those things are done, you just need to type in the name of your mini app, upload the icon, and now you're ready to deploy to Paytm. So the process with deployment into Paytm is actually super simple as well right now, thanks to DIY platform by Paytm. So merchants, they just need to go to their Paytm for Business dashboard, apply to become a mini app, and then proceed to deployment through the Paytm app. So it's a very simple 5-minute process where merchants just need to scan the QR code with the Paytm app and follow the instructions. And that's it. The Paytm mini app for this brand is submitted for review inside of the Paytm platform. And then after a day, probably, of review process by Paytm team, the mini app is going to be live inside of Paytm.
Wow, okay. And does it cost me anything as a merchant?
Oh, the best part about it is completely free to start. So there are no upfront costs. Yeah, so you don't need to hire the development team, or you don't need to hire extra developers to create this mini app. And then it's cheap maintenance. So our platform takes care of the whole integration. So whenever there is update inside the Paytm platform, we automatically update all the mini apps. We take care of all the new features that Paytm mini apps are deploying, and we are updating all the mini apps on the go with these new features. And there is a cheap monthly subscription fee for depending on the features that the merchants use. Overall, it's very affordable, and what we see, it's always positive return on investment. So because Paytm has such a big user base, definitely you're going to get traffic from the Paytm and start generating revenues.
Thank you so much, Kaniyet. That was really useful. And I'm sure there'll be a few of our merchants who will be coming your way. Thank you again.